In this video, we'll see how to graph horizontal lines from the equation. The equation will look like y equals b, where b is the y-intercept or a number, any number, like y could equal, let's say, 3. So the y-intercept will be 3, the constant, on the y-axis. The line will cross the y-axis and it will be horizontal. So when we look at the horizontal line, the slope is 0. So 0 slope, horizontal line. In the equation, when we have the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, this is going to be the slope, which is going to be 0. So if I say 0x plus b, then 0 multiplied by x equals 0, and 0 plus b equals b. So the equation of any horizontal line is just y equals b because the slope is 0. So in the slope-intercept form, y equals b. b is the y-intercept, or the number on the y-axis, and that's the starting point when we graph. The slope of this line is 0, therefore it's a horizontal line. Let's see an example to see why this happens. For example, y equals -4. What this means is the y variable can be only -4, nothing else. Y equals -4, that's all. X can be any number. So if I think of this situation, the y variable can only be -4. So if I think of a few ordered pairs, and I know that in those ordered pairs the y can only be -4, and x can be any number, I'll just come up with a few numbers. Let's say -3, 0, 4, 6, and plot to see what happens. -3, -4 will be -3 down 4, 0, -4, 4, -4, and 6, -4 are showing as a horizontal line, and that line goes through -4 on the y-axis. So in our notes, when I said that the b, or the number, is going to be called y-intercept, and it will be on the y-axis. So in the example, we have y equals -4, so -4 is the b, which is called y-intercept. And it is a number on the y-axis. Then the slope of the line is 0, so it is a horizontal line going through -4. So that's what we write here. The line will go horizontally through -4 on y-axis. Let's see another example to follow the pattern. So for example, I have y equals 6. This 6 will be on the y-axis. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the constant where y equals b, y equals a number, is called y-intercept. That's a number on the y-axis. That means that the line has to cross through number 6. How? With the slope 0, horizontally. Y can be only 6, so let's prove this. In other words, in a chart or in a selection of a few points, as many as you want. I picked 4, but it could be 3, 5, 10, as many as you want, but the y value can only be 6, nothing else. The x value can be any number you can come up with. So let's say 0, 7, 10, -5, random. plotting, 0, 6 is my first point, and that is the y-intercept. Then I have 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 10, 6, and then negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the points will be lined up horizontally, going through that 6 on the y-axis. So if I was to complete this equation, this would be y equals 0x plus 6, where the slope is 0 and the constant is 6. That's why 6 is on the y-axis and 0 is the horizontal line going through 6. So the line will go horizontally through number 6 on the y-axis. Y equals -1. So I can only have y equal -1. And I'm going to come up with a few ordered pairs where y can be only -1 and see how that looks like. If y can be only -1 and x can be any number, come up with a few numbers, 0, 4, 5, 8. And plot the points. 0, -1, 4, -1, 5, -1, 8, -1 will be a horizontal line going through -1 on the y-axis. Y equals -1, line going through -1 horizontally, through -1 on the y-axis. What if y equals 0? Y can be only 0. So I'm going to come up with a few points and see what if x can be any number. How would that look like? -4, maybe 0 for x, 5, 6. A random point selection just to see what will show if I plot this. So -4, 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, 6, 0 is the horizontal line going through 0, crossing the y-axis, which is overlapping exactly with the x-axis. So we had the points all line up in a line that is horizontal, which is overlapping with the x-axis. So that is the equation y equals 0. If I was to complete that, that would be 0x for the slope and the y-intercept is 0. So the y-intercept is 0 and the horizontal line. The line will go horizontally through 0 on the y-axis. Through 0 on the y-axis, horizontal line overlaps with x. What if y equals 7/3? 7/3 is the point location, or 7/3 is how much on the y-axis. The best is to change this into either mixed fraction, 3.5, or decimal, 3.5. Because when we plot, we need to know that this is 3 squares and a half. So 7/2 is the same as 3 squares and a half, 3.5 or 3.5. So y can be only 3.5. 3.5, which is 7/2, or 7 divided by 2. X can be any number, so let's say 0, 1, 3, 5. And I'm going to plot those points to see that it is going to be a horizontal line as well. 0, 3.5, so 0 and then 3 squares and a half, 3 full squares and half. 1, 3.5, 3 squares and a half. 3 and then up, 1, 2, 3 full squares and a half. And then 5 and up, 3 squares and a half. So my points right here are going through 3.5 on the y-axis horizontally. So it's up 3.5, which is 3 squares and a half. So it can be fractionals, changing to decimals in order to plot the points, knowing how many full squares and how many partial squares. So don't be afraid of fractions or decimals. And then the line will still go horizontally through either you can say 7/2 or 3.5 on the y